to do and run out there. We have a competent medical staff over here all weekend long that will rush out there, tend to their needs, take them over to the far door there, and administer them. And when they put their hands up is when it's your time to engage. If you jump out onto the track, there are 30 people moving at 30 miles an hour that are used to hitting things, and if you're not used to getting hit, it'll be a surprise for everybody. All right, so let's have a good event, and let's meet the teams.
Testing, testing. Starting off, we have Rampage Roller Derby, 1111, Dance Monkey, 1122, Psycho Killer, 1217, Wheels, 1313, Cool Cool, 182, Speedy Smash, 19, The Freak, 22, Cookie Monster, 369, Astra Chick, 4, Busy Bee, 42, Killer Cow, 8769, Hungry.
All right, and their opponents this morning are 509 Junior Roller Derby, the Killer Bees, being coached by Abby and Clean Willie. We have 03 Rumble Guppy, 10 Ruby Roundhouse, 106 Ferdinand, 187 and co-captain today, Bella of the Brawl, 22 Bad Attitude, 236 Hell No Kitty, 247 Snot Rocket, 312, the captain, Slimy Booger. 34, the postman. 404, Fatal Error. 68, Graycon the Destroyer. 710, Boo Boo. 82, Blackout. And 911, Chaos. Your officials for the game, calling the X's and O's, the lawgivers out there. We got the head referee is Killa Key, Sarin Gas, / Lobocop, Sushi, Brainiac, Cookies, Screw Lucy, Bionic Envy, Data, Sujo, Dr. Boom, Kiss Off, Angry Ogre, Cold Gin, Asylum, Colonel Skirts, Bionic Envy, Salty Bear, and Violent Beatrix up here, calling the X's and O's.
For Rampage, we have Wheels. And for the Killer Bees, we have Fatal Error. The whistle blows and off they go. They're both fighting strong, getting through. Fatal all falls because of the jammer, but they keep on fighting while Wheels is stuck. Fatal Error still trying to fight to get through and gets out first, while Wheels is still fighting to get around. Wheels tries to get help from their O, while Fatal does an apex and gets through. Wheels is still fighting through that wall while Fatal is just cruising along. Fatal has a perfect way through, so he follows that. And Wheels tries to keep on fighting. Wheels does a star pass, and Fatal is still going around. Fatal hits the jammer so that they go flying, and the Freak fights to get through, while Fatal just makes it through easily. The Freak is still fighting to get through the pack after that big hit, while Fatal is just cruising along. Fatal gets an easy way through to get past, while the Freak is still fighting. Fatal tries to hit the wall and does it, so he gets through, while the Freak is struggling. Fatal goes through easy peasy once again, while the Freak is still fighting. The Freak is still fighting with help from the O.
Well, I'm quite impressed. Usually fatal error brings a stop to everything, but apparently a 32-point run is how we're going to start this weekend off, so we have a high mark to set. That was 404 fatal error with a 32-3 run. Not bad, fatal error. So folks watching at home, welcome to Junior Open Division Playoffs, Game 1 here in Salt Lake City, Utah. We do see you at home, so if you give your shout-outs, we'll repeat them out there as long as they're appropriate. And then feel free to sip Wasatch Junior Roller Derby $1 here and there. All right, so it's always good to see them skate off on their own power. I think Freak just emptied the tank on that one. Seemed to be like a dragster because that was all gas, no brake, and they skated off there. So they skated off on their own power. I will remind everybody, especially those of you traveling from California, we are sitting at 5,000 feet here, which means it's a little higher in altitude. If you don't have those little oxygen bottles, I would go get some. But make sure you hydrate. And here we go. It's Hungry going up against Hell No Kitty. Hungry's going to plow right up the middle, and Hell No Kitty trying to get to the outside. It looks like Hungry's out first. Yeah, Hungry is the one out first. Hungry. So Hell No Kitty, not to be denied, is coming out there right behind. Hell No Kitty gets out, no matter what country you're in. Hungry is coming around looking for more, though. Hell No Kitty didn't stop, though. It keeps flying. Hell No Kitty trying to catch and close that gap. Hungry doing what they can. Hungry hits that back and calls it off. Right there, Hungry says, I'm full. So a 7-4 run there on Rampage's part.
Jamming for Rampage, we have Killer Cow. And for the Killer Bees, we have Fatal Error. The whistle blows and there they go. They're both fighting to get through, while Fatal goes straight for the wall and Killer struggles. Fatal gets around first and Crow is still fighting. Crow gets through fighting, the pack zooming around, while Fatal does a jump to get through, while Fatal calls it off.
All right, it looks like the Killer Bees are going to leave Fatal Error out there. He got a couple laps in for a junior. Couple laps is nothing. Fatal Error is going to go head-to-head with 87-69. That's Hungry. Sorry, I can't say Hungry without saying it in that silliness. Hungry's on the outside. Fatal Error's in the middle. Whistle goes. They both go to the middle. Fatal Error trying to power move up the right. And Hungry right behind him. Hungry just drops in. Hungry digging in hard. Now Fatal Error realizes that Hungry's right in his hip pocket. Comes out there. Fatal Error hits down Hungry. Hungry pops right back up, not to be denied. Comes in there. Fatal Error blowing people up as it comes through there. No, it looks like we got back. No, Hungry heading off for a back block. I heard the words back block, and then I saw Hungry heading off. There we go. Oh, and a big hit there by Speedy Skates there. Speedy Smash saw Fatal Error coming in, lined him right up, took a perfect line and smashed him right out without getting a directional, hitting him forward. Nice move by Speedy Smash. So in addition to us being at about 5,000 feet, we do also have a giant lake of salt out there. This will dehydrate you, so make sure you're drinking at least a gallon and a half of water each day, staying hydrated. Liquid IV Powerades, those type of things. Make sure you're replacing all your electrolytes of good solid things. Utah weather and Utah altitude will sneak up on you. And worst comes to worst, go see the medics. They'll give you advice on many different things. It is summertime here in Utah, so it's about 90 degrees out. It'll be 100 by the end of the day. And here we'll get a little warmer, so make sure we're staying cool, calm, and collected. All right, folks, if you like what you're seeing and you want to sacrifice your children to the Derby gods, Wasatch Junior Roller has Junior Young Roller Derby Camp. Get ready to roll. Wasatch Junior Rollers is hosting a fun-filled roller derby camp for ages 6 to 18. It's a crash course. It's a perfect way to learn the fundamentals of skating and derby safety. All right, so as we come out of the timeout, it looks like we're going to start with Hungary in the box and Fatal Error on the line. All right, everybody jockeying a little bit for position. Fatal Error swings to the outside. Now he pushes up to the middle. Now he tries to get, and now he keeps all his skates in bounds, and he's there, nice and smooth. Coach telling them to put it in fourth gear. Let's go. You only got 30 seconds. Oh, big blow up. We'll see how that goes. Back block to Fatal Error. That'll immediately release Hungary. He also lost a blocker in the course of that. So they come out. Hungary comes out and runs into, I think that's Ferdinand over there. Ferdinand stands him straight up. And now Hungary gets out. Now you all been around a little bit. You all have seen a little bit of derby, so you know that there can be no fall off because Fatal Error did establish lead jammer before he went to the box. Out of the box comes Fatal Error, immediately makes contact with Hungary, sends him down. Hungary's mad, pops right back up though, comes flying in there. Both of them come in there. Hungary runs into Ferdinand, and Ferdinand stands him up, sends him out. Hands off to Graycon. Now they're starting the bridge. Fatal Error trying to get through there. That red wall is working as a foursome there. They're sticking together and water falling onto each other. Fatal Error gets a little help from his friend. That's number 34. They push him forward. But meanwhile, Hungary gets out. Fatal Error back around. Hungary's got his 4. 12-4 run so far. Fatal Error runs into that red wall. We'll see if they can hold him up again. Fatal Error cuts right through that wall like a bunch of data. I see Data running away from Fatal Error. I wonder if that's instinctive. And there we go. Rampage Juniors pull themselves closer with a 16-8 run.
For Rampage, we have Speedy Smash jamming, and for the Killer Bees, we have Hell No Kitty. The whistle blows and there they go. With the bees doing O so that their jammer can get out first. Wow, a Speedy Smash still tries. Hell No Kitty gets around first, going fast around. While the Killer Bees does O to help them. And Speedy Smash is still fighting through that wall to get through, and Speedy Smash finally gets past the wall, while Hell No Kitty is fighting now. Hell No Kitty gets along using their lines. Well, it gets called off.
All right, and they send out from 509, number 68. That is Graycon, the Destroyer. All hail the Destroyer. Going up against 8769, Hungary. Whistle blow, Graycon to the outside. Slams into that red wall. Hungary trying to push that white wall forward. starting to move onto the inside. Now gets into his wall. Now Hungry is loose. Raycon still struggling in there. Jumps in, gets cycled back. Oh, almost steps in, but gets cycled back by 11:22. Raycon is in, gets tripped up a little bit, moves forward though. Hungry's got his first 4. Raycon getting cycled back by Psycho Killer. Hungry tiptoeing along the inside, getting through there. And now it's a star pass. Raycon hands off to the postman. I guess the postman always delivers. Nope, postman comes around, and just as the postman about to make contact, Hungry says, I'm done eating.
For the Killer Bees, we have Boo Boo jamming. And for the Rampage, we have Speedy Smash. The whistle blows and there they go. They both hit each other while Boo Boo gets through the pack first while Smash is still trying to get through. Smash gives him a big hit and gets through. Boo Boo keeps on going to hit the wall and takes a brutal fall but gets right back up while Speedy takes another hit and is trying to fight through the pack while Boo Boo gets through. Speedy hits somebody so that they fall and they get through it. Boo Boo gets knocked out. Boo Boo calls it off.
All right, that's a team timeout, White. So we'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Canyon Sports Therapy. Thank you, Canyon Sports. I believe they're over here today. They got their table set up and ready to treat the wounded and walking wounded and that. So go over there and get yourself evaluated. Also, the Pie Pizzeria, voted Utah's best pizza. If you're here in Utah, 2 things you want to try: Pie Pizzeria and Victor's Tires across the street. Just get the tamales from Victor's Tires. Don't get the tires. Trust me on that one. But you're going to want the Victor's. They are open tomorrow for breakfast. Of course, Einstein Bagel, who provides us with all our bagels for this evening and these next 2 days. 1-800-CONTACTS for a financial donation, Midwest Data, and 187 Killer Paths. Those are our sponsors for this weekend, folks.
For the Killer Bees, we have Fatal Error, and for Rampage, we have Killer Crow. The whistle blows and there they go. They both fighting, ended up hitting each other in accident. While Fatal gets through the pack first, and Killer gets cycled back. Fatal's coming along while Killer is still fighting through it. Fatal gets hit really far back and makes it, while Killer is still fighting to get through it. Killer finally gets past the wall while Fatal calls it off.
All right, looks like Killer Bees are going to sell it out. Hell no, Kitty. and Speedy Smash for the Rampage. Both of them starting laterally. Looks like there's might be an opening. Oh, I think we got a drag race now, folks. As Speedy gets out just ahead of Hell No. But Speedy is coming in quick, realizes they lost kind of the advantage, and calls it off before anybody gets there. Hell No is going to stay out there.
Jamming for the Killer Bees is Hell No Kitty again. And Psycho Killer. Psycho Killer goes through while Hell No Kitty gets past. Psycho Killer is still fighting with the help from their O to get past.
All right. She's skating off on her own over there to get checked out. I cannot stress, if this is the first time you've been to Utah, we are sitting at elevation. You will dehydrate in a hurry. It is hot in here. There's a giant salt lake out there. Not just a name, it's an actual thing. If you drove up here, you drove past the dying brine shrimp, you'll never forget it again. So make sure you're hydrating, stay off the caffeinated beverages, Red Bulls, things like that. Stick with the liquid IVs and all that kind of stuff.
For the Killer Bees, we have Fatal Error. And for the Rampage, we have the Freak. They both go after the same way, so they accidentally hit each other. While the Freak gets through first with Fatal right behind them. The Freak goes through while Fatal follows, and they call it off.
All right, and coming out of the 5 seconds, it looks like we got Speedy Smash going up against Fatal Error. 404. Fatal Error takes off. Speedy Smash takes off on the inside. Speedy Smash has the opening, drops the hammer, and goes. There we go, flying down to 405 without any traffic. Now coming up to a little congestion. Speedy gets in there. Big hit on Ferdinand. Ferdinand absorbs all that hit, though. Sends Speedy to the outside. Fatal Error works themselves out now. All right, now we got a team timeout. A few more announcements here. Wasatch Roller Derby, the adult competitive all-female team, is having a pride bout. This is Wasatch Roller Derby is hosting their pride bout on June 28th at 6:30 at the Derby Depot. Come on out and support your home team as they battle it out on the track and show off their pride. Block hate, love, roll with love. Block hate, roll with love. Visit wasatchrollerderby.org for tickets and more information. Also, the Beehive Skate Revolution, which is a rec league, is having their red, white, and blues. This will be in Moab on July 5th. This is a mashup, 2 games, relaxed atmosphere, beautiful setting. It's a lot of fun if you've never been down there. It's probably one of the prettiest venues out there, but also one of the hottest.
For the Killer Bees, we have Hell No Kitty, and for the Rampage, we have Psycho Killer. They both fight to get through, with Hell No Kitty getting hit out. The Freak is still fighting to try to get through the pack while they are both fighting together. They both get recycled back, and they both have to try again to get through it while the Psych falls and Hell No Kitty gets through the pack. The Psych is still trying to get through. Psych is trying to get through while Hell No Kitty calls it off.
All right, we're about halfway through the first half here. So a quarter way through the bout. 19 points separated, 21 points separating these two teams. We're going to bring out the Freak, and they're going to go head-to-head with 404 Fatal Error. Right after this, at 12 o'clock, we have another junior bout. So here we go. Whistle blows. Fatal Error on the outside. Now the Freak gets out of there. Freak shows what they're about. All gas, no brake, coming in there. Bugging to the crowd a little bit, coming around, digging in. Fatal Error still stuck behind Hungry. Hungry now getting sent off to the sin bin for the Pie Pizzeria. 30 seconds of silent reflection. Well, no doubt about it, the Freak has got some speed. Now Fatal Error trying to track the Freak. Can't quite find him. Now the Freak dodges around him and calls it off before Fatal Error can dispense any punishment. Oh, and now it looks like we have a team timeout here. Team timeout red. Looks like right at the end of the play there, or towards the end, red sent their pivot to the box, so they're sorting things out. That's Hungry sitting in the box. Killer Bees have their team on the field.
Jamming for the Killer Bees, we have a Greycon the Destroyer, and for Rampage, we have Speedy Spot Mash. The whistle blows, and there they go, both fighting, while Greycon slides through the end to get through, with Speedy still fighting through. Speedy calls it off.
All right, it looks like it. Oh, no, there we go. They get the Rampage gets out there. Speedy Smash gets out there right at the last second. Speedy Smash up against Fatal Error. Fatal Error moving the red ball forward, gets through there, pushes the red wall down. Not to be denied is Speedy Smash. They're coming up behind, but Fatal Error's putting in some long strides, trying to get through there. Nice little hop, looks back, sees, nope, doesn't call it off, keeps moving forward. Speedy Smash is caught up. Only 10 feet separating the two skaters. Fatal Error with a nifty hop. Speedy Smash checks out of bounds. Now it looks like so Fatal Error headed to the box. That'll eliminate the lead jammer, so we'll go the full 2 minutes here. Speedy Smash has got some space to make up, and they do. They pulled even, and now they're a little bit ahead as Fatal Error is in there thinking about the wrongs of his ways. Speedy Smash takes a big hit out there. And Fatal Error is in, gets around hungry, and gets back out. Speedy Smash has got Ferdinand to deal with, and does, nope, steps out right at the last second. Ferdinand checks them out, cycles them back. Bad attitude back there, and now Fatal Error takes a chip at Speedy Smash. Speedy Smash is making a thought process of it. Bad attitude showing a sportsmanship as they cheer on Speedy. Of course, cheer him on positively, but they're not going to let him pass. No easy points in Derby.
Jamming for the Killer Bees, we have Break on the Destroyer. And for Rampage, we have Wheels. There they are going off on each other. Wheels gets around first while Graycon is still fighting. Wheels comes around the pack with Graycon still getting through. Wheels is still fighting, with it being a power jam for them. Graycon Wheels gets through. Wheels is still fighting after calling it off.
All right, here we go. Looked like Fatal Error, but no last minute switcheroo there. So it looks like it's a power start for Psycho Killer as the red jammer or the white jammer is in the box. So we'll see what Psycho Killer can do with it. And Psycho Killer gets out, makes full advantage of what's going on. Psycho Killer's broke containment coming back around. Oh, and a nice little slide there. Kept everything in bounds. That's all you got to do. They landed on a skinny little 2x4 and slid forward. So here we go, right out of the box. Fatal Error takes the star, and he's got it. He's coming around. He's made contact. Now he's going to try to score some points. Psycho Killer, seeing Fatal Error coming around, calls it off before they can get there.
For the Killer Bees, we have Fatal Error. And for Rampage, we have Hungry. The whistle blows and off they go. They both go straight for the pack, fighting through. While Hungry gets through first, and Fatal still fighting, but does get through a little quickly after. Hungry goes to hit the wall and goes face to face with them, while Fatal doesn't and gets.
Looks like there was a penalty assessed for Hungary right at the end of the play. We'll get it sorted out here. So it looks like they did not have to use their official review as the referees caught it was a high block they wanted called. I saw the two fingers up. I'm not sure if they're calling them for a double penalty or not. But I see Hungary in the box. So it's definitely at least one. And it's going to be a power start. So this is an official timeout to make sure we get everything sorted out, keep everything safe, so forth and so on. So it looks like they've got it sorted out. The officials look good. They're skating into position. And it does look like it's at least one penalty. We'll see how long they sit. Hell No Kitty starting off. Hungry in the box. So here we go. Hell No Kitty's got the power jam, and their team is out there providing some offense. Hell No Kitty has an opening and squirts through there. Hell No Kitty is out and around. Took about 15 seconds to get out. They got some more time to work. They're coming around. No, looks like just one penalty for the jammer, but as he's standing. Oh, nice there. Hell No Kitty shakes off a couple of one by the freak and one other one that came over there to try to head out Hell No Kitty. Hell No Kitty with some nifty skating was able to skate through there. Hungary's released from the box, rested and angry, not hungry, hangry. All right, about 4.5 minutes left in this half of Derby. We do got another half. We got another game starting at noon there. We stay on time. So here we go. Data brings them all out there. Gets us ready. Is so ready. Looks like the penalty boxes are empty, so both teams are full strength. Nope. Now an official timeout. Okay. All right. And we do also have a graduation bout coming up Saturday, July 12th here at the Derby Depot. Wasatch Juniors will be hosting its last home bout for the season, and be honoring its graduating skaters of the origin and the origins of Wasatch Junior rollers. So if you're available, please come on out for that. There's also a concession. Don't forget to help each team out by buying their merch so they don't have to take it home with you. It's all in an exchange of money. You buy their merch, they buy your merch. You don't get picked on in the lunch line anymore because somebody thinks you play roller derby. It's just a good all-around thing. So make sure you're buying merch. Take it home. Some of these things are pretty cool looking. All right, we're getting set again. We're coming out of the timeout. So it looks like we're going to pick up where we left off. The Freak is lining up against Fatal Error. Whistle blows, Fatal Error in the middle. The Freak on the inside. Freak now moves to the outside. Fatal Error moves to the inside. They slide back and forth, start getting walks to break down, and Fatal Error gets his to break down first. Freak still got two more to beat. Now gets some help from friends, and now the Freak is loose. Freak is about a half track behind Fatal Error. Fatal Error coming around. Oh, no, and Fatal Error is going to call it off, but Sushi says, no, no, no. That's a forearm, so you will lose the ability to call it off, and you will get 30 seconds of silent reflection, and the Freak will be out there doing what they do, and they're trying to score. Nice move. Ferdinand thought they had the Freak out. The Freak shook it off and moved forward. Freak gets some instruction from their coach. They come around. Altitude starting to take effect. And there we go. That's a clean star pass as Wheels takes the star from the Freak. The Wheels runs into Ferdinand. Ferdinand plugs the hole, waits for help. Now Wheels gets cycled back. Fatal Error, meanwhile, has been cut loose. And Fatal Error is out of there pushing forward. Wheels has got to put that star on to score. No, now we have Killer Bee heading off for a penalty. Wheels accidentally pushes Fatal Error forward. One more to beat. Now Wheels is out. Now Wheels is going to get all 4 points because they got the star on. Killer Bees keeping the red wall separate. Doesn't matter. They get Fatal Error to check out. Wheels is trying to come around. Ruby Roundhouse tried to take him out, but he shook that off and got forward, but 7-10 was able to take him out. That was boo-boo.
For Rampage, we have Busy Bee, and for the Killer Bees, we have Hell No Kitty. The whistle blows and there they go. They're both fighting. With a Busy Bee going straight for where the people are not and getting through. With Hell No Kitty fighting through but getting out a little bit after them. with Busy Bee's teammates trying to do helping them get through. It works a little bit while Hello Kitty tries and falls, and Busy Bee calls it off.
Oh, that's an extra wheel rolling around on the track. That's never good. Somebody's got to come off. I think it's a Ferdinand wheel. There we go. Ferdinand figures that out. So here we go. Fatal Error up against Killer Crow. Fatal Error is out. Killer Crow trying to come around. Killer Crow runs over the top. Fatal Error looks back, sees Killer Crow in his hip pocket. Killer Crow coming around. Fatal Error is going to try to spear power move right into Wheels. Trying to call it off there. We'll see what they're going to give Killer Crow credit for. They get 1-1. That's a 1-1 tie on that one. We'll see if they get another one off here. They got 35 seconds left in this half. If they get it off, the jam clock will take over. Anybody's game right now is only 8 points separating the two teams. Hungry out there against Fatal Error.
There they go, fighting together to get through the pack. While they both are still fighting together, Fatal gets through first with a Hungry still fighting. Hungry gets through, and they both start going to the pack with Fatal in the lead. Fatal goes straight for where the people are not and makes it and calls it off.
All right, folks. That rolling whistle means we're going to intermission. So we got 15 minutes. The skaters are going to, we ask you to give a few minutes for the skaters to use the bathroom. The first few minutes are for just people with skates on their wheels. If you're not volunteering this weekend, we ask you to use a porta potty outside. We do not want the gray water inside the depot. That's always bad. So please use the porta potties outside. Remember, don't flush anything down the toilets, anything like bodies, people, Twinkies, anything like that. Nothing goes down the toilet. And we'll spend about 15 minutes. Let these kids rest, hydrate. If you're a parent out there, make sure you're getting your kids some sort of hydration. And in addition to hydration, make sure it's a liquid IV or a body armor or a Gatorade or something that's replacing their electrolytes. This is zapping their energy and their strength. I cannot stress it enough. And we'll see you back here in about 14 minutes. Just come back up here in 2, 4, 5 minutes type of thing. Oh, yeah, Rico. Oh, you know what? We need towels. That's what we need. I'm going to go grab a paper towels. All right, folks, we're getting ready for the second half of the first bout of this weekend. This is the JRDA Open Division playoffs. We have the Killer Bees in white at 115 and the Rampage Roller Derby in red at 103. Anybody's game still. Looks like gear checks are done. The officials have gathered in the middle. Looks like the medics are in position. We're getting ready to get started. All right, welcome back in TV land. We do have about 30 of you watching online right now. Fluctuates a little bit. If you have any shout outs for any of these players, feel free to comment in the chats and we'll send them out to the track. Rampage looks energized and ready to roll. And the Bees look ready to roll. Starting off, it looks like the penalty box is clear, so we're starting off at equal strength. Maybe. I don't see. There we go. All right, it looks like Fatal Error is going to come out there. They're going to go head-to-head with Psycho Killer. And Psycho Killer took a minute to get the star on, but now gets the helmet cover on, and now gets in and goes behind Hungry. Not a bad move. Gets in and tucks in behind Hungry. Psycho Killer is your lead jammer. Fatal Error finally gets loose and is out there. They send the words in to Psycho Killer, say get in there and get your points and call it a day. Psycho Killer leaps forward and calls it off. And we'll see if they're going to give anything to 1 to Fatal Error as he comes around. And 3 to Psycho Killer.
For the Killer Bees, we have Grey Con. And for the Rampage, we have Hungry. The whistle blows and off they go. Grey Con's still fighting through to get past it, while Hungry is still going. Hungry gets out first, while Grey Con is still fighting to get through the wall. Grey Con does a jump and gets through the wall, while Hungry is still trying.
All right, only 6 points separating these two teams. Speedy Smash coming out, going up against Hell No Kitty. Speedy Smash on the inside, Hell No on the outside. They get everything adjusted. Whistle blows, and they both go to the inside. Speedy gets cut off, or gets forward, and Speedy's out first. Hell No still trying to get through there. Now Hell No's loose. But Speedy's already back into the scoring pack, gets past 1, pops 2 more, and gets through there. Sees the signal from the coach, pulls him within 2.
For the Killer Bees, we have Fatal Error. And for Rampage, we have Hungry. There's the whistle, and there they go. both fighting with a Hungry getting out first. Graycon does a big apex, but Hungry got out first, and they're both going around. Graycon goes, Hungry goes straight for people. Wow.
All right, we'll come back after that injury timeout, get everything settled down. Looks like Data's in position. We're going to wait for the medics to have eyes on the track. That is Jacoby and Off the Rails over there, providing excellent medical coverage for us for today. And now we have an official review, White. So official review, as we all know, if you don't know what it is, you haven't been around, which means you haven't been traveling with your team, which that's silly. It is a chance for a coach to come out there and say, we don't agree with the call that was made or missed, or we want to call increased or decreased. and they'll explain their situation to the referees. The referees will go over there, talk about it together. They'll get everybody's opinion on it, and they'll come back. They'll ask what everybody saw. I do appreciate this in sports because it's not about the referee's ego, and it's about getting the call right. They all acknowledge that these kids put a tremendous amount of work in, and we don't want to cheapen their work by getting a call wrong or missing a point or anything like that. So I always appreciate when the referees take their time to make sure they get together, see if they saw the call or didn't see the call, and they'll get back together and explain to the referee or the coaches what they think they did or did not see. So remember, everybody, make sure you're eating well. Our kids are trained to eat even during halftime a little bit. They will snack on the bench and things like that. I cannot stress enough, and I will continue to stress it to you, this altitude, this Salt Lake, this time of year are really going to zap a lot of your energy, and if you're not used to it, it can really take a toll on you. When I first moved to Utah 19 years ago, 7 days, 4 hours, I had to adjust. It took me a week or two to adjust to the altitude. And believe it or not, just changing 300 or 400 feet at this level can really make a big difference. So as you're out and about tonight, make sure you do visit Pie Pizzeria. There are several of them scattered all over the valley. They can meet all of your nutritional needs. No matter what you desire in a pizza, they can put it together. They are one of our very generous sponsors. So make sure you go visit Pie Pizzeria. They do an excellent job with pizzas. All right, as Aaron Gass explains it to the coaches over there, it looks like White was looking for an increase of penalty from a standard penalty to an egregious penalty and a possible expulsion because of the hit. The referees did not see it that way. They said it was indeed a big hit, but a legal hit, and or a hit that was not an egregious hit, but a hit that will generate a penalty, but not one that'll get up to the level of egregious. So we will skate on. And White will lose its official review for the rest of this half. All right, looks like we're all coming back out of the official timeout. Data's still out there. He hasn't signaled the start, but it looks like all the officials are getting into position. And there we go. That ends the timeout. So it looks like Red's going to have 2 blockers and a jammer in the box. So they're going to have 2 blockers out there only, but I only see 1 out there now. So we'll see how that's going to work. Maybe there's more and I can't see them. Maybe there's 3 blockers in the box. So here we go. The whistle blows. Fatal Error is going to take it out. Hungary's in the box. And immediately released are 2 of the blockers from Red. They get some help. Fatal Error is already back around, coming back in there. 42 takes a swing. Doesn't slow Fatal Error down. Red's still not formed up together yet. There's a wheel on the track. Uh-oh. We've got a wheel. Now it looks like Ferdinand has to come off as he slides off for equipment error. Can it be on the track with only 7 wheels? Now Red gets a release of everybody from the box. Red's back to full strength. Ferdinand's over there trying to put his wheel back on. Out of the box is Hungry, and Hungry is hungry as he takes off. He's got his pro containment already. Fatal Error's already got 8, and he's going to call it off before Hungry can get back around.
For Rampage, we have Speedy Smash, and for the Killer Bees, we have Hell No Kitty. Whistle blows and off they go, both going for the pack with Speedy taking a big hit. They're both still fighting to get through, but Speedy gets through first, while Hell No Kitty is still fighting to get through that wall. Hell No Kitty finally gets through with Speedy taking a big hit. Speedy calls it off.
All right, so it looks like Rampage is going to send out Wheels. I don't think we've seen him in a primary jamming role yet. We did see him take a star pass earlier. Wheels is going to line up against Fatal Error. Wheels is on the inside. Fatal Error is on the middle. Fatal Error punches through first. Wheel goes to the outside and gets pushed out of bounds. Killer Bee cycling way back, giving Fatal Error enough time to come all the way around. Wheels is back in and trying to get break containment still. Runs into the back of Killer Bees. Moves forward. Fatal Error is moving forward. It's got 4. Skating nice and easy. Fatal Error coming around the outside. Wheels is in the inside. Fatal Error sees exactly what Wheels is doing. He's going to try to joust with Wheels a little bit. Wheels keeps his speed, and they call it off before Wheels can get back over there and score points. All right, we got our first shout out here from Nikki. Go, Hungry, go. You're doing a great job. They are so proud of you, Hungry. That's from Nikki.
For the Killer Bees, we have Hell No Kitty, and for Rampage, we have Killer Crow. They both fight to get through it, but Killer gets past first, with Hell No Kitty still fighting to get through. Hell No Kitty does a jump but does not land it, and it gets called off.
Well, I apologize, folks. I had the chat window shrank way down. There's been a bunch of shout outs there to the Rampage team from Nikki. Watching from home, they're saying good, smart play. Good job, Psycho, Wheels, all of you. They're giving lots of shout outs. Let's go Rampage. So here we go. Fatal Error back out there against Killer Crow. Fatal Error pushes through first. No, Fatal Error gets cycled back. And now it is, right there, Killer Crow gets out first, snuck through there. All thought Fatal Error was going to get out first, but Killer Crow gets out there first. Rampage, Don, and Sabrina are also giving you shout outs, as well as Wendy.
For the Killer Bees, we have Hell No Kitty, and for Rampage, we have Wheels. The whistle blows and off they go, with Hell No Kitty getting through first, with Wheels still fighting. Wheels keeps on fighting to get through while Hell No Kitty is coming around the pack. Hell No Kitty gets through again. Was still fighting with the Wheels. So Wheels finally gets to pass the pack, but gets a penalty. Hell No Kitty gets through again. Hell No Kitty comes up looking for the O, but goes straight for the out and jukes everybody. Hell No Kitty goes and makes it through perfectly fine. Hell No Kitty comes and gets past with no help. Hell No Kitty gets hit by one of them and goes back to block them with her O trying to help. They still keep on trying to fight them. Hell No Kitty is stuck trying to get through it now with Wheels back in and trying to fight to get around. Wheels got through with the juking them. Hell No Kitty calls it off.
All right, Rampage, we're getting shout outs from Alicia, Jason, Smiley. They're all giving you shout outs, pulling hard for you back in, I think it's Fontana is where you're from. Last time we went to Fontana, it snowed on us. It was terrible. We did find out that nobody knows how to drive in the snow down there, though. That was funny. So here we go. Fatal Error up against the Freak. We've seen this story before. Fatal Error pushing forward. Freak rolling around like a mad woman out there, slicing and dicing. Those elbows are hurting. And there we go. Freak gets out, but no. Freak is first. Freak is first. Has Fatal Error right in their hip pocket and gets called off. And Hungry getting a forearm penalty as they head off.
For Rampage, we have Wheels, and for the Killer Bees, we have Graycon. The whistle blows and there they go, both fighting with Graycon getting through first with doing some little jumping with the Wheels right behind them. Graycon goes through trying to juke but gets caught with the Wheels doing the exact same thing, and it gets called off.
Yes, I think our last trip to Fontana was pre-COVID, or what triggered the COVID virus. So after we left there, the world shut down and we went into hiding. That was several years ago. So here we go. Hell No Kitty coming out, going to line up against the Freak. Both teams backed off to the pivot line. A little gamesmanship going on. Whistle blows and they go. Right there, a little bit of speed. Freak runs in, slides sideways, and Freak is loose. But not to be denied is Hell No Kitty, but Hell No Kitty's right in the hip pocket of the Freak. They're coming around. They're perched up on 2. They smash into big walls. The Freak looks like they're getting, nope, Freak can't get through. And now it looks like Hell No Kitty gets cycled back. Freak gets 4 points. Hell No starting to get held up by that red wall. 16 minutes left in this game. Freak gets through there. Now we got some penalties being handed out as I heard a forearm call. That one looks like Killer Crow heading off. Oh, some big hit there. It looks Speedy Smash slid sideways right into Hell No Kitty. Hell No Kitty does an equipment check. Gets up, shakes her, everything's there. Yep, I got all 8 wheels. Let's go. Gets back into the pack, moving forward. Both jammers slamming forward. A lot of kinetic energy, bouncing back and forth. 3-1-2 escorts Freak out of bounds. All right, so we're going to come out of that injury timeout. That was called an injury, so we'll reset and start again. Let everybody collect themselves. Killer Bees, you got a shout out from Timothy. Rampage, one from Sabrina. Nikki is blowing up my feed with all the shout outs. So whoever Nikki is, you guys need to go home and make sure they get a lot of shout outs. Because they are blowing the feed up.
The Killer Bees, we have Rebel Guppy, and for Rampage, we have Wheels, and for the Killer Bees, we have Guppy. The whistle blows and off they go. They're both struck. They both got confused with Wheels getting recycled. Guppy followed her but did not make it through. Wheels tries to get through but gets knocked out. Same with Guppy. Guppy calls it off.
All right, here we go. Coming out of the timeout, we got the Postman up against the Freak. 2 movies I've seen before. The pack separate a little bit. Looks like they're going to try to cycle back the Freak. No, they thought they had the Freak out, but apparently not. The Freak is loose. Freak is upright, coming back in, trying to get around there. The postman's still stuck in the mail. Trying to get everything sorted out as the Freak slides through there, tiptoes along the outside line and gets loose. Freak coming back around. Postman still hasn't delivered. Trying to get through there. It's a state of the post office nowadays. It's a little slow to get through, but they're going to push through no matter what. Postman still pushing on the pack. The Freak going. Freak's got 8, trying to close that gap. 33 points separate these two teams. Excuse me, 23 points. Can't add either. Oh, looks like Hungary's going to get a directional call. Going to have to count those up. Hungary's getting kind of close. Now we have a star pass as Ruby Roundhouse gets this from the postman. The postman was ineffective. Ruby Roundhouse takes it, throws a kick, and gets out of there. Ruby Roundhouse says, get up there and break stuff. Sends Ferdinand forward. And the Freak is loose for 4 more. Trying to get back around. Ruby Roundhouse trying to get herself located. Gets stuck behind a 2-wall. The 2-wall of red's doing good. At this point of the game, there's a lot of endurance factors going on. We'll see who's got it at the end. They're going to give Ruby 2 for that one. So all right, that looks like Hungary has collected the requisite of penalties. They'll be skating off there. Sit out the remainder of this game. About 12 and a half minutes left. He is eligible for the remainder of the games this weekend. He will be allowed to gear down and sit in the audience and cheer actively for his team, though. Oh, here we go. Data comes back out there as the official timeout is about to end. We call the whistle, and here we go. We're going to get back to Derby. Get through this next 12 minutes.
For Rampage, we have Wheels, and for the Killer Beast, we have Fatal Error. The whistle blows on, there they go. They both go for the pact, and they both fight and fight, with Fatal getting recycled and Wheels still fighting. Wheels is still trying to get through. Wheels is still trying to get through it. With help from their O, they almost do it, but they get caught once again. But they finally get out now. Wheels comes through and tries to get help from their O, but gets hit out instead. Wheels gets past and then gets hit, so they have to go right back. Wheels finally getting through. With the wheels going around, so is Fatal. Fatal is still trying to get through it
All right, so it looks like an official timeout as the officials get together in the center there to figure out what's going on. It looks like both jammers were called for penalties there. So it looks like Fatal Error will be in the box. He will start there in the box. That'll give Rampage a power start. All right, so we see the officials starting to break apart there. That signals that we might be getting together. They were talking to the coaches, something they want to clarify or something they see or something. They just want to make sure. Killer Keys over there talking to Coach Cake, talk to the Rampage coach. This is a full contact sport. Tempers flare. Things get out of hand sometimes. And sometimes we just play derby and it's still a very violent sport. I am always impressed with the referees as they stay impartial throughout this whole thing. I've often said I would never be a referee because I am not impartial. So I thought we were breaking up. The officials are still out there talking it over, making sure that Coach Cake understands what's going on. Coach Cake explaining their side of things. RoboCop and Killer Key out there, make sure they get their side. Right after this, I'm not sure if it's going to be 12 o'clock or not. We might take a little bit of a break. It might be a little delayed. But we will have Wasatch versus Diamond City Miners. Now, looks like we're doing a little track maintenance. All right, and we're coming out of the timeout, folks. Everybody get settled. We got about 10 minutes left in this bout. And now Rampage is called for an official review. All right, it looks like Red was asking for a additional penalty to be added to fatal error for not leaving the track timely enough. The referees did agree with that. They thought he did not leave the track timely enough, so he will have to cook off an entire minute in the penalty box. And I see Kiss off over there, so I'm wondering if he isn't at his max right now. We'll see what happens. So here we go. This is a 1 minute power jam. Wheels is going to take it. They're all lined up. We're out of that official timeout, rigmarole. And here we go. The whistle blows. Wheels going to try to go to the inside. Wheels has got a track. Runs into number 2. Trying to push that whole white wall forward. 3-1-2 out there pushing on Wheels. Pushes him out, cycles him back. Trying to get way back. Wheels is cycled back, comes back in. 3-1-2 gets out there, tries to chip at him. Runs him into the white wall. Still tracking him. One more to beat for Wheels. Wheels gets chipped out of bounds. White doing a good job keeping Wheels busy while fatal error cooks off a double penalty. Wheels is coming through the pack, trying to slice through there. Got Ferdinand to beat. No. Ruby Roundhouse throws that kick and sends him flying. Ruby Roundhouse braces for impact, takes down the impact of Wheels. And fatal error is loose and makes contact immediately, but it's Crow Killer who drops fatal error right away. Fatal error won't be denied and gets out. No lead jammer is established. Fatal error is the lead jammer. Fatal error goes to the outside, gets through there. One more to beat and gets around. Coming in his Wheels. Wheels comes in, runs into Ruby Roundhouse. Gets stood up and fatal error calls it off.
For the Killer Bees, we have Hell No Kitty, and for Rampage, we have Psycho Killer. White gets out first, with Psycho still following through. Hell No Kitty goes and jumps and makes it through. Psycho tries to copy but does not make it through. Hell No Kitty does it again. Psycho is still fighting to try to get through, with Hell No Kitty almost going a third time getting through, but then calls it off.
All right, 7.5 minutes left in this one. Lucy, 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 we need you at the we. right, those medics have earned their stripes today. Again, the heat, altitude, everything leads into it. The fact that we're playing a full contact sport with no padding designed to take a hit. All the padding is designed to take a fall. Data seems able to blow that whistle just fine, though. He's healthy as a horse. We come back. It looks like they're going to send out Fatal Error. Fatal Error is going to go head-to-head with Killer Crow. Killer Crow's on the outside. Fatal on the inside. Whistle blows, and they follow that way. Now Fatal goes to the outside, and Crow goes to the inside. Fatal is out first. Fatal's coming around hard fast. Crow still trying to work through there. Trying to get through that white wall. Now does. The Crow is through. Fatal Error coming around. He was trying to try the inside, but then hops to the outside. Oh, and now he gets a block in the back, so that's going to give Killer Crow a power jam. Nobody can call it off now. Killer Crow's loose. Got 4 points. Got all the time in the world to work. Coach sends in a play they want them to run. This is an opportunity for Crow to make up some points. We'll see what they do. They're trying to get through there. They got 8 now. And it looks like Fatal Error is out of the box, but not able to join the track. I'm wondering if he didn't foul out there, and they're just going to hold him there until the end of the play. So we got an extended power jam up for Killer Crow. Oh, nice move there as Killer Crow slides sideways to get through there. Coach in there barking, says, get on your horse and move, move, move. Trying to get around, gets around Ferdinand. Now Ruby Round. Oh, Ruby Roundhouse takes out the postman. Now we have a cut track penalty. And that's going to call it off right there because I think it looks like Fatal Error is skating off. So I'm wondering if he hasn't fouled out. Yes, he has. It looks like he's skating off. They're looking for their catcher. All right. Just for both benches to know, there is a basket over there with tools in it. If you're needing a tight equipment, right behind you, there's a basket and it has wrenches and things like that in it.
For
Looks
Rampage, we have Psycho Killer.
All right, Killer Bees, you got a shout out from Lori saying go Bees.
For the Killers Bees, we have Great Con. And they're going through, and his O should be helping since it is a power start. Great Con's still fighting to get through that pack with help from their O. Great Con is still fighting to get through the wall. Great Con almost gets through, but gets recycled back. With Crow getting another penalty. Great Con just gets through now. Great Con is trying to get help from his O. Gray Con finally gets through the wall because I help with his O. Gray Con is still fighting with Killer back in. Gray Con gets hit out and recycled. Gray Con calls it off.
All right, 3.5 minutes left in this game. Looks like Rumble Guppy's coming out there for the white team. I'm going to go ahead to a Psycho Killer. There we go. Rumble Guppy in the middle. Psycho Killer on the outside. Psycho Killer around Ferdinand. Ferdinand has to let Psycho Killer go. Psycho Killer's flying around. Rumble Guppy still trying to get their fins under him. Psycho Killer back into the pack, lining up. Takes a big hit from Ferdinand as Ferdinand sends him flying. Rumble Guppy is out now, but Psycho Killer's in the scoring drive, trying to get around Ferdinand. Can't get around, calls it off before anything can happen. 2.5 minutes left in the game.
For Rampage, we have Speedy Splash. And for the Killer Bees, we have Gray Con the Destroyer. Gray Con goes straight for the pack, trying to juke around, with Speedy going where the people are not, and gets through first, with Gray Con being back. Gray Con gets pushed into the jammers and tries to get around, with a Speedy getting through. Speedy goes through the wall, getting past pretty easily, with Gray Con still fighting. Gray Con is still fighting with being the only jammer out there. Gray Con is fighting and fighting to get through the pack. Gray Con is still fighting to get through it, and he finally does. Gray Con and Speedy are both in, with Speedy getting through fast, with Gray Con following right behind them. Speedy is going through and hits him right away and gets past right away, with Gray Con still fighting to get through the wall. Gray Con is still fighting, and so is Speedy. So goes and there they go. Woo! Woo!
Well, folks, we'll wait for the rolling whistle there, but that looks like we finished off at 198 to 191. We'll wait for data. I ask all of you to hang on for 1 second. Let's wait for the final whistle. We'll figure out what time the next game starts, because I don't think it's going to start in 1 minute. Looks like data is confirming with everybody. And that's it, folks. It's official. Your winners tonight of the first game, Killer Bees 198, Rampage Roller Derby 191. We invite you all to come out to the gray track We ask all the officials to come over here and get under the scoreboard so we can take a picture. And we're going to send these two teams around. All officials right here under the scoreboard. Officials. And your winners for the night, your Killer Bees, made up of Rumble Guppy, Ruby Roundhouse, Ferdinand, Bella the Brawl, Bad Attitude, Hell No Kitty, Snot Rocket, Slimy Booger, The Postman, Fatal Error, Graycon the Destroyer, Boo Boo, Blackout, and Chaos.
For Rampage, Dance Monkey, Psycho Killer, Wheels, Cuckoo, Speedy Smash the Freak, Cookie Monster, Astro Chick, Busy Bee, Killer Crow, Hungry.
All right, folks, we'll get the official when the next bout is, but we should have a little bit of a break. And next up is going to be the Diamond City Miners going head-to-head with your very own Wasatch Assault.